Kate?
All right, joining us right now is Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell from California here with us in studio. You have the markets reacting yesterday, posting, the worst day in a few weeks. But by and large, when you look at investors' reaction and U.S. market reaction to this trade war, they've largely rebounded since Liberation Day, if you will. If the markets and investors are shoulder shrugging, and you're seeing, S&P and NASDAQ have record after record in recent weeks, do you leave open the possibility that the trade war and his trade policies don't do damage?
Well, the investors are not the ones who are really going to pay the price. It's my friends and neighbors who are at Walmart, Costco, and I don't know about you. I shop at those places. I don't see billionaires at those places. So what Trump's supporters are even finding out right now is that this tariff is really just a tax, and it's a tax on them. And it's the least popular economic policy in the history of polling. And Donald Trump also promised to lower costs on day one. He's now approaching 0 for 200. We're almost 200 days into his administration. And so it's really, to me, like, what are you doing to lower costs when we go to the grocery store, when we go to the home goods store, when we go to Costco, and people aren't seeing that.
Do you think that's what's helping to drive? And I don't know. I mean, it is an extension. It's a delay. It's a not sticking to his deadlines. The firm not 100% firm though. But is that, in your view, a good thing because it's allowing for more time to, I don't know, fix this in the way you like? I
don't want the tariffs. So if he keeps extending them and doesn't fully put them in place, great. But he has actually put tariffs in place on many countries. And so when I talk to folks on Wall Street or folks on Main Street, it's the uncertainty that's killing them. From Blackstone to the blacksmith to families who are delaying a family vacation because they just don't know what this is going to do to them. So the chaos and the uncertainty is almost worse than just having a policy that's painful.
A very different thing, but a very important story we're covering and will continue to is these deadly floods in Texas. As the search continues for the missing, there are big questions being raised about the warnings that happened and the impacts also of cuts to that the Trump administration had made to the National Weather Service. And while everyone you speak to says a review needs to be done, analysis needs to be done, there's no direct through line, I did have a former administrator of NOAA just on this morning who said that he thinks the administration's workforce cuts at the National Weather Service contributed to the problem. Let me play this for you.
I am convinced that the staff cuts that we saw were a contributing factor to the inability of the emergency managers to respond. The staffing was just fine, and the White House has concurred with this, to get the forecast out, to get the watches and warnings issued. But when you send a message, there's no guarantee it's being received. So someone needs to follow up, and that's the warning coordination meteorologist, a position that was vacant.
You have Chuck Schumer now who's sent a letter asking for the Commerce Department to investigate whether staffing shortages contribute to the tragedy here. The White House is pushing back very hard and suggesting that this is all motivated by politics. Let me play Caroline Levitt from yesterday.
Unfortunately, in the wake of this once-in-a-generation natural disaster, we have seen many falsehoods pushed by Democrats such as Senator Chuck Schumer and some members of the media. Blaming President Trump for these floods is a depraved lie, and it serves no purpose during this time of national mourning.
Do you think Democrats need to be careful on this?
Well, first, I mean, as a parent, this is just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids at camp this week. They're not old enough for sleepaway camp, but you put them, in the responsibility of people who you don't know, and this is a parent's nightmare. And so I do grieve with those families. I also thank the first responders who put their lives on the line to try and rescue as many people as possible. One of my colleagues, a Republican colleague, had 2 of his daughters at this camp. Fortunately, they made it out. I do think as lawmakers, we have a responsibility, though, to look at, did cuts affect the ability for folks on the ground and at the camp to have an earlier, better warning? But this is really going to, should we just attack government for government's sake? And for the last 6 months, we've seen an effort to undermine the hard work of government workers, whether it's air traffic controllers who keep planes from colliding in the air, or FEMA first responders who go into the harshest hit places in America. But if the president's press secretary doesn't like the way this is being described, I would recommend that the president go to Texas and talk to the families and show leadership, because that's what presidents do.
He is going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, he did say he is going to go. I think the question is then, how do you? I don't know if it's threading the needle. I don't know if it's saying we can have two thoughts in our head at the same time. But how do you not let this become political, but still push for answers?
Right. And again, my job is to make sure that we put resources in place to keep people safe. Our primary job as lawmakers is the safety of the public. And if there's a possibility that cuts at that agency affected the safety of those girls, we should understand that, and we should do better as we make funding decisions in the future. But again, right now, you know, they're still looking for missing people. I understand the sensitivity around the issue. And again, first and foremost, I'm a parent, and this is just heartbreaking, and no parent wants to have to think that this could happen when their kid goes to camp. So lawmakers should get serious about resources we put in place.
Yeah. Congressman, thank you very much for being here today. I really appreciate it.